Hi all, welcome to Chess 24/7 and you are encountering another stream for the weekend and we are live. Um just give me a moment. I can't hear the music on my headphones. I'm not sure why that is the case. Okay, this should mm, I mean I don't like these last moment changes, but then again it's something I am not sure why it happened. Okay, wait. It should. Wow, this is so embarrassing. But anyhow, you learn from these mistakes only. Um, by the way, thanks a lot for those of you who have joined the stream. Um, why is it this? Hmm. Anyhow, let's dive right into it. Okay, let me just switch it to another. Yeah, see, this is better. Okay, so we are playing with white pieces. Let's just jump into it. And yeah, we're playing with white pieces here. If we look at the position, um, we've got my opponent has what four minor pieces. I have got one sec, I can't see the screen in front of me. Yeah. I've got three minor pieces, so we're down by a full piece. Um, okay, awesome. So we had some issues with the camera also now. Let me just unplug and plug it again. I hope we should not be facing any challenges now. Ah, we are. Um, okay. Wait, one sec. I'm not sure why this is happening. It is. Hmm. Okay, you know what? Let me just rejoin the meeting maybe. Yeah. I'll fix the camera in a while. Anyhow, let's just. Should I? I'm not sure how. What's the issue here? Can't exit the meeting as well. Yep. I want to leave the meeting. Start a new one. Mm-hmm. Wow, this is so embarrassing. Never thought I would face such technical issues, but then again, what can you do? When you go live, things are bound to go wrong, I guess. And wow, now my setup is just, I don't know, it's broken now. And it's not that I did not, I mean, prior to coming online, I did spend some time and I was just, fixing up the setup and all, but I'm so sorry about this whole issue. Okay, I'm trying to fix this. I mean, this is so embarrassing to be honest. We haven't started the stream and we are facing so many issues right off the bat. But just bear with me for another minute or so and I'll improve the things here. I'll make a few changes if my computer would allow me to, because I don't know, I cannot start a meeting on my Teams apps because it looks like my system is I don't know. Okay, we'll just wait for we'll work on the camera part after solving this puzzle and then we'll go to the camera. thing, right? So yeah, anyhow, let's solve this puzzle. So we are playing with white pieces. I have some dark square domination against my opponent's queen side. I think knight c7 definitely wins a rook on a8. The other idea is queen c7, knight e8, sorry, queen e8, and then knight uh, d6. Yeah, that is better. And now the queen is trapped. Let's grab the queen. Awesome. Okay, looks like, yeah, okay, awesome. So right off the bat, we are doing pretty decent. Okay, so in this position, we're playing with white pieces. Okay, so the thing is, this knight is hanging, the queen on f6 is also hanging. I'm trying to figure out, I mean, technically, pawn f6 is so tempting right now because I'm getting the queen, right? So this is, I mean, this looks very tempting. I'm not sure if this is the right move or not. Um, okay, so if I capture on f6, will it work? I mean, I can also capture on d7 right away because that is a check, right? And then I can capture on f6 because of bishop d2, I have got knight d2. Yeah, and luckily there are no ideas of checkmating me, right? So yeah, that's a good thing. I think we should first capture on d7 with check and then capture on f6 maybe. What is the issue with this? Is it pawn h6? Um, okay, I don't see why queen f6 is the issue. Let's just see. Okay, so we're creating another threat on the rook there. Hmm, better move. Okay. Um, okay. Luckily, we are back. The camera is working fine now. Let me just. Yeah, so I think I'm back online. Uh, yeah, we yeah, awesome, great, nice to be finally back online. And I mean, the camera is working now. The headphone is also working now. But I still cannot. Okay, wait. Yeah, now even Spotify is working fine. Awesome. So technically, our stream started just right now, and thanks for all of those people who are bearing with me. Technically, I only had one viewer on Twitch, but now I have another viewer on YouTube. So welcome to the stream. I hope you're doing great, guys. So we're playing with white pieces here. Yeah. Let's see. So it's an endgame puzzle. Hmm. Okay. So definitely we have some advantage on the on the queen side because we have 3 pawns against his 2 pawns. Yeah. Um, I'm thinking about something like because this king side is pretty locked in because we both have 3 pawns on the king side. However, on the queen side, we have 3 pawns and he has only 2 pawns, so we're better off. I'm just trying to figure out. I think a4 looks great here. A4, pawn a4, and then c4, pawn c4, king c4, and then the a pawn would fall, I believe. But I'm not sure if resolving the tension so early would make sense. So let's see what else have we got here. I think b3, c4 takes, king takes. Let's go for a4. I really don't see any other idea here. Okay, so c b3. What is it? Ooh, let's see what. Okay, it's a h5. I don't see the point, but maybe I'll analyze it later on, a bit later. So yeah, I think pretty intuitive move is like queen d4, thinking that I can win the rook, but then there's some pressure on e7. Right now it's protected by the knight, luckily. So it's queen d4 check. The king, let's say, I don't know, maybe he goes to, if he goes to f1, that's bad because of rook f8. So definitely king h1, and then I can capture the rook on a1. I'm not sure if that works, but I don't see why I should not play that move. Let's go for that. So there's definitely some pressure here. Okay, nice. But then there are some back rank issues with the white, right? I can capture. Let's see, even if I castle, I can't castle at the moment. So yeah, that's the problem. Um, what else? Queen f6 does not work, obviously. Uh, 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 hmm. Okay. So basically, white is threatening me bishop e7 at the moment. Yeah. Hmm. Okay. Let's see, how can we defend that? Bishop. I mean, I don't see if I can really do anything about that. I can capture the rook, the knight on b1, rook b1, and then okay, I have got, but then it does not work because he still has a rook, right? Knight c, queen c3 does not work because of knight c3. Hmm. Wow, this is tricky. But then again, it has to be. We are in 2400s now. um, okay. I just can't think of any idea here. If I mean, if someone in the chat can help me out, if they know how to solve this puzzle, please help me out. I'm struggling with this puzzle. It's we are playing with black pieces, by the way. Um, Queen d4 does save my. I mean, okay, does make a sense. I mean, it's not a sensible move, but then again, if bishop e7, I'm not sure if I can still do anything there. Hmm. Okay. Bishop with the Take the Hi Mayank, welcome to the stream. Take the bishop with the queen, it's made. First of all, we're playing with black pieces. Secondly, if I take the bishop with the queen, knight is always there guarding the bishop. So you're both, I mean, you're wrong on both the occasions. But yeah, thanks for the help. Because if I just I mean, we're playing with black pieces, and if bishop, queen e7, knight e7 is there. What else have we got there? Hmm. I don't know, man. I just don't know. I don't see it. I just don't know how to go about this puzzle. Never thought it would be this strange. I mean, I don't see. Oh, no issues, man. No issues. Welcome to the club, by the way. If you haven't already subscribed, to give my channel a shot. I stream on every weekends. But anyhow, let's just focus on this puzzle at the moment. Um, I mean, I just don't see it. I don't know if it's solvable by black pieces because we can't castle, right? Let's just try to eliminate all the bad moves, yeah, and then maybe we can reach to a good move using power of elimination. I think the one good move that I do have is, it's bizarre, by the way. Rook f8, bishop b7, rook f1, rook f1, and then knight e7. And if he comes with rook e1, then I've got queen f6. Yeah, let's go for this. Oh, is it? Uh, what is the move then? Queen d4. But what about this? How does black continue after this? Okay, awesome. Okay, let's go for the next puzzle. We're playing with white pieces. My queen is hit. The knight is also hit, and my opponent's queen is also hit, by the way. Hmm. I mean, I can go for queen h5, right? I still attack the queen. I still attack the knight twice this time. But then he has got knight f3. Yeah, that is bad. Queen h5 comes with knight f3, and I lose my queen there. Hmm. Queen g7 is also good because then we are attacking the rook, the knight twice. So yeah, queen g7 looks pretty straightforward here. Let's go for that. I mean, he can go for knight d3 check, something like that. Knight d3 check. So let's see. Queen g7, knight d3. Rook d3, queen d3. I capture. The rook on h8 check. Let's say he comes to, I don't know, maybe d7 or maybe e7, let's say, yeah. And then I can capture on a8, but then he's got queen b1 check there, yeah, and that will be embarrassing. Bishop, I think queen g7, knight d3 is the follow-up. Let's go for queen g7 first of all, and then rook d3, queen d3, uh, queen h8, king e7, and then maybe queen d4, because if queen b1, I have got queen d1 there. Queen b2 is there, we can capture on c7. Yeah, okay, that looks good. Rook captures, because let's say if I go to f1, that is possible. e2 is also possible, right? But then he can just castle, yeah, on the next move. So let's just capture this, and capture back and come to d4, because if I capture on a8, he's got queen b1 check, king e2, and he grabs my rook back. Although yes, I'm still up a piece, but there can be some complications after this, because my queen is kind of out of the game. My bishop is hit. So yeah, queen d4, queen b1 check, queen d1, queen, let's say b2. Mm, okay. Hmm. I mean, technically, if I were playing this game, I would play queen a8, queen a8, queen b1 check, king e2, um, queen. Then what? I'm not sure. Hmm. That is pretty strange. Let's go for queen d4 here, maybe. Yeah, let's go for queen d4. Awesome. Okay, so we're playing with. Okay, let me just do a quick check on Twitch if we are. If our stream is going well, because I recently received some error on one of my. Yeah, it's on my Streamlabs. Anyhow, we are good with leeches. I'm new to chess. Oh, hi, Will Jones. Nice to have you on our stream, man. That's perfectly fine if you're new to chess. We basically try to go step by step. I have been playing chess for quite some time, but then again, that's perfectly fine if you're new to chess. By the way, what's your favorite color? Just a random question. Anyhow, so we're playing with white pieces. I would suggest, Will, if you. How long? I have been playing since 2011, 2011. Yeah. So it's been 10 years, almost 10 years. Yeah. So we are playing with white pieces here. Yeah. I would suggest if you try solving this puzzle along with me, so that it helps you to visualize how we solve tactics and will help you. I am 400 rated. That is perfectly fine, man. Because you know what? I believe chess ratings are not a true representation of someone's chess skills. I mean, okay, maybe when you get rated, then it's a different thing. But at times, it so happens that I can't see a mate in one, even if I am rated 2100 on Lee chess, but then I just miss mate in ones at some point of time in my game. So that's perfectly fine. Feel free to help me out with this puzzle. Okay, so we're playing with white pieces here. Yeah. Um. Okay, so black king is pretty. I mean, black king is not in a good position. He's surrounded by my pieces. Yeah. Hmm. So I can't move any of my rooks. I mean, I can't move my h7 rook because in my rook on h5 will fall. So one idea that is coming to my mind is rook h4, king g5. Yeah, and then okay, does not work. What about f3? f3 check. King comes to g3, and then I've got rook g7. But then better is rook g5. The only move is bishop coming to g4, and then we can capture it. Yeah, but then he can also come to f2. f3 check. King g3. Rook g5. King f2 is also possible. Equally possible, right? Um. Okay. What about king e1 first move, king e1, and let's say for some reason I get another move to play, f2, f3 check, king comes to g2, rook g5, check, and then the king cannot come to f2 this time. Yeah. So king e2 or king e1 are my two moves that I'm thinking about right now. King e2 or king e1. But I am not sure of king e2 because of maybe bishop d3. This not only provides my opponent's king an escape square, also but then if I play king e2, bishop d3, king e1, okay, I'll be one move. Yeah, but then f2 also falls, right? The moment he plays bishop d3, this file becomes open for my opponent's rook. So maybe in view of that, I think king e1 is better here because king e1 and then I'm threatening g3, f3, king g3, rook g5, and that's a mate. Yeah. Um, but what if I play f3 directly? King g3. Yeah, he's trying to come to f2, right? King comes to e1 then, but then he can play rook g6 there, and then there's no rook g5. But then I have rook h3, right? Oh no, but then yeah, that is better, right? Oh no, I have to play rook g3, otherwise g2 is falling. Yeah, yeah. Okay, okay, let's see. f3 check, king g3, rook g5 check, king comes to f2. Yeah. Um, and then what? I mean, it's not a mate. My opponent is obviously my opponent's king is not very safe after king f2, but then it is still not a mate, right? I have to find a way to checkmate him. Wow, this is pretty interesting and frustrating at the same point of time. uh, Obviously, rook h4 just allows him to play king g5, king h6, something like that. Hmm. King e2, rook g6 right away, preventing rook g5 in the future. F3, king g3, king e2, rook g5 is still there. Hmm. Okay, I'm betting my money on f3, but I'm not sure if that works. Let's see. But let's see, king e2, rook g6, f3, king comes here. Yeah, then we have to play. Oh, okay, wait. Yeah, let's play f3 first. That is not the right move. Wow, that is uh, king e. What is the move then? Okay. Oh wow, wow, such an easy move. My bad. I mean, this is so embarrassing. Wow, I should have seen that, man. Anyhow, let's jump into our next puzzle. We are in the end game. Yeah, man. I mean, it's very frustrating, yeah. It's very embarrassing to lose such a simple puzzle. Had it been a little difficult puzzle, I would have been still okay with it. But then, what can you do? Okay, so this is an endgame puzzle, right? We both have two pawns. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot. Really appreciate that. I think in this position, I'm hoping for rook f4, maybe rook f4. But then the problem is rook f4, king f4, and then this pawn is unstoppable. I cannot stop this pawn from queening. Yeah, so that's bad. Rook f4 is not working out. Rook c6, check, and he needs to protect this pawn. Yeah. Hmm. Mhm. Okay. What about rook c5 here? Rook c5, rook c5, pawn c5, and my c pawn is obviously is an asset. Uh, Maybe he can go for something like king d4. I can capture on f3. King king e5, king d5, and then what? King g4, king c5, king g5, king d6, capture. Yeah, then we should be good, right? If we can just get rid of this rook while my rook is on c5, that will be better for white. Because this is a rook pawn, but I just need to make sure that my opponent's king does not reach any of these three squares. After obviously all the other pawns are exchanged, which should take place ideally. But after rook c5, he can also play f2, rook f5, check, king f5, king f2, and then maybe he can come for, I don't know, maybe king f4. Yeah, but then I have my b pawn, right? Awesome, awesome. I think rook c5 is what I'm thinking about. Let's see if I'm right about this because I don't see any other move. Okay, rook c6 check, yeah, but then it just helps him improve. He can play rook king g5 maybe. Let's just hope for the best. I'm going to go for rook c5 here. Yep, and now I'll capture the rook there. Awesome, awesome, awesome. I mean, I've been stuck on this 2400 rating for chess puzzles for quite some time. I want to break it. I want to reach at least 2450 by the end of today's stream. Let's see if we can do that. Hmm. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot. I mean, I recently started streaming on Twitch, and Twitch was very alien to me because I used to stream on YouTube, but I wasn't really familiar with streaming on Twitch. But the experience has been almost the same as, I mean, right now I'm obviously uh, streaming on YouTube as well, but yeah, the experience has been pretty smooth for me, touch wood. Anyhow, and in fact, I would say, for me at least, Twitch has been more welcoming compared to YouTube because I would never get viewers on YouTube, but luckily I'm getting some viewers on Twitch. Thanks a lot, man. Thanks a lot. I appreciate that. Anyhow, let's jump back to the puzzle. We are playing with white pieces. We do have a battery of a queen and a bishop on this diagonal. I mean, if this bishop were not there, I would play something like bishop h7 and then I win the queen. But then this bishop is still there, right? Oh wait, oh wait. I think the queen is trapped. If you think about this, the queen is on d4. But if I play knight b5, the queen is hit. The queen cannot go anywhere. Yeah. If you can see this, the queen is trapped. So I think knight b5 looks great here. Yeah, it should be knight b5. Yeah, knight b5 should be the move, right? I'm just thinking about how can black respond to it. Knight b5, he can capture on c4, but obviously just capture on. Yeah, that's better. Awesome. Yeah, so they can counter attack me, which is fine because I just need to make sure that I does not let my opponent's queen go away. Obviously, I can also capture on g4. That's pretty interesting. But then queen comes to d3. Yeah, and we are equal in material, I would say. But let's see. We have to protect this bishop in a way, right? Because every other and also this pawn on c4. So queen c2 comes to my mind here. Queen c2 should be the move, right? Because we are still maintaining some attack on the d4 queen. So queen c2 should be the move. I don't see any other move. The bishop is protected, the pawn is protected, everything else is taken care of. So yeah, let's go for that. Yeah, let's hope that we get this correct. I think queen c2 should be the move. Awesome. Now we get the queen. Awesome, awesome, awesome. Okay. So you're playing with black pieces. I see the rook on f2 is being attacked, and it will come with a check, and then the bishop would also fall, and the rook will then also be hit. So it's a pretty, how should I say? It's a pretty uh, inviting move, I would say. Pretty attractive move. However, there's some pressure on h6 and on g7 indirectly. Because my king is definitely exposed here. Also, this bishop, the moment I move this bishop, becomes active, but it will be taken care of after knight f2. I think knight f2 is something I will definitely go for. That's one of my candidate moves. In fact, at this point of time, that is my only candidate move. Knight f2 check. Let's say king f1, knight d3. The rook is hit. However, they can. I'm just thinking about how can white respond to that in a strong way, because the bishop is also hit, right? I think knight f2 is the move. I don't see any other move here. Yeah. Yeah, knight f2. Let's go for knight f2 and we'll see. Awesome. I did not see bishop g7. I should have seen that. But anyhow, now queen h6 is the threat, followed by queen h8 maybe. Obviously, I've got f7 covered, but it could be at some point of time the rook can also join in. So I have to be a little aware about all the plans that black might possess at this point of time, that white might possess at this point of time. I think if I play knight e1, that's a pretty solid looking move, but let's say queen h6. This might also involve queen e6 at some point of time. But what about king g7? But then he has got queen g4, yeah, and then the rook will escape. I think let's capture the rook here. Yeah, the puzzle is still not over. I'm not sure why that is the case. I think it should have been over. And now I can go for queen f8 maybe. Protecting h6, queen f8. And then, okay, yeah, he has got queen g4 there. I have got king h7, queen. Yeah, and then he doesn't have a lot of checks on this diagonal, right? So yeah, queen f8 is that's what I would love to play. Let's see, queen f8. How can white respond? If he comes queen g6, check. That is dangerous because then queen g7 is forced, right? So yeah, queen f8 is met with queen g6 check. And that is going to be mate into then. After queen f8, yeah. Okay, so queen f8 is not working out. What else? How can we save the pawn? I think rook c6 looks great there. Rook c6. Also, I'm kind of involving more pieces to defend my king after rook c6. Yeah. I think rook c6 is a pretty solid move. We are not only attacking, defending the rook, the pawn on h6, but we are also trying to bring in some forces around my opponent's my king. So yeah, rook c6 is what I'm hoping for. Let's see if we can get that. Because if I play king h7, he has got queen h6 there right away, right? King f7 is also good, but I'll go for rook c7, rook c6 here. Let's see. Awesome. Let's move on to our next puzzle. We are playing with white pieces. Okay. This is interesting. I think I will, in this particular position, I would say I can let my opponent capture on a4. But obviously first I'll play rook b7. If he captures on a4 foolishly, then I've got bishop b3. Check. And then he has got king a5 and then bishop d2. Check. But then he has got king a6. Yeah. I think rook b7 is the first move for sure, because that will basically entice my opponent to capturing the let's say the knight on uh, a4. However, after rook b7, if he plays king a6, I have got knight c5 there. I defend the knight, I defend the rook, I defend everything, right? And then that will be pretty easy to mate. So yeah, rook b7. Also wait. If I play bishop d2, he can play king a6, right? Yeah. And then knight c5 is there. But then he has got king b6 there, right? Let's see. And what about b4? b4 allows him to capture on a4, and then the a pawn is weak. Let's see. Rook b7. Rook b7. Do we have any other alternative moves? Bishop d2. Okay, yeah. Let's say king s6. Knight c5. King b6. And then knight a4 check. King a6. Because I don't have bishop c4 because of this knight. Yeah. Okay. I'll go for rook b7. Let's say rook b7 and he brings one of his rooks to b8. Then what? Okay. b4 check, king a4, bishop b3. King captures on a3. Yeah. I still cannot mate him because there is no bishop c1 there. What can I do next? Rook b7. And the rook comes to, the h rook would obviously come to b8. Bishop check. And if he captures the knight on a4, I've got bishop coming to b3, and that will be a mate, right? Yeah, let's go for this. Awesome. Okay. I think we have to capture this because I would love to. I think I have to capture this because otherwise my bishop would be gone for free, right? Let's just go for this. Yeah, awesome. Okay, so now we don't have the bishop. However, okay, let's see. I think knight c5 is the follow-up here. Knight c5, and then what basically we are trying to do is we're threatening b4 check, and that would be a mate. Yeah. So after knight c5, I think, yeah, knight c5 should be the move here. Yeah, okay, maybe he can come to d3 then. Okay, that is interesting. Knight c5, knight d3 check, forcing me to basically capture on d3, and then king a6 maybe, but then knight c5 check is still possible. Yeah, that is fine. Knight c5 should do the trick. Awesome. Awesome. Let's reach 2450 and then we'll see how to go about further in today's stream. Okay. So we are playing with black pieces and we are in the end game, right? Okay. So I can win the pawn on g3, yeah, with my knight. But then rook h2 check, king g3. And then he has got what? He's got a rook. I've got a rook, and he has got two pieces against my rook, which will be almost equal in the endgame. Yeah. So, okay, we can't afford to lose that. Oh wow, this should be simple, right? Rook e2, king e2, knight g3 check, and then we pick up the rook, right? Let's say king E1. I capture the knight, the rook on uh, H1, and then we are only 2 moves away from promoting our queen. That should be simple enough. Yeah. Hmm. But rook E2, king E2, knight G3. Uh, okay. King can come to F F2, let's say. Knight H1. He has got king G2 then. And then my knight on G1 on H1 and my rook on H3, they both are hanging. And I can't save both of them. Yeah. Okay. So let's see. Rook E2, king E2, knight G3 check, king F2, knight H1 check, king comes to G2. But then I can play knight F2, right? If he captures, he can't capture my rook, by the way. If he captures, yeah, we just promote here. So I think rook E2 should do the trick here. Wow, this is embarrassing, man. I mean, I had a streak of 4 puzzles in a row, but anyhow, let's see what the solution is. Rook knight G3. Okay, I thought maybe rook E2 is more flashy. Let's see. It comes here. We just capture it. Okay. Yeah, this is. Aren't we getting a queen here? Just capture this way. This should be winning, right? I just don't see why the computer did not recognize this line as the solution. Hmm. Anyhow, let's move on to our next puzzle. We're playing with white pieces. So we can see the knight is pinned to the king on h7. Mhm. So my knight is also hit, by the way. Let's see if I capture on e4. Pawn c3. If I capture on d5, check. The king has only two options, h8 or h6, right? Let's see, goes to h8. Because h6 is just bad because of queen g6. Yeah, so h8. After that, queen g6 is there. And how do you defend queen h6 or queen h5? You can't, right? Okay, maybe pawn comes to b2, check, king b1. But even then, I'm not sure if the queen has any. But then, yeah. Yeah, I don't think so. The queen, my opponent's queen can check my king in that position. So yeah, I think pawn e4. What can I say? Let's see. But what's the issue with pawn e4? Why doesn't pawn e4 work? Oh, wow. Okay. So we are playing with black pieces here. Hmm. So if I play rook g8, which looks pretty promising, but then he cannot play king h1 because of queen h3. So after rook g8, king h2 is to be played, and then knight g4 is there. Yeah. Again, if he goes to king h1, then knight f2, we are winning the rook this way. Yeah, I think rook g8 should work here, right? And then knight g4. Because if he goes to the g file, that is bad. I just play knight something like knight f2 is also possible. So yeah, knight g4 should be enough to win. Okay, wow, I cannot capture the queen on g4 because of knight f6. I have to be aware of that. So rook g4. because we're winning the queen anyhow, right? Yeah, that's awesome. Okay, so we are playing with the black pieces there. We are in the end game. I've got 4 pawns. He has got 4 pawns, so materially we are equal. And this pawn is going to be promoted if I don't stop it on the next move with king rook e2. Oh wait, I mean, if you think about this, I can win this rook. Because if you look at the king's position, it's my opponent's king is very awkward. Yeah. If I play rook h2 check, he cannot move, right? He has to intervene with rook h3, right? And then I play g5 check. The king goes to h5. I can capture on h3 check, and then he has only one move available. King g6 there, right? And then we can come back to e2, right? We can save, I mean, defend the rook at least, but then he can play something like, I don't know, maybe king f7, and then we capture on g4. He can promote, I capture on e8, he captures back, but then our g pawn becomes a roller coaster because this pawn is kind of restricting my opponent's bishop's diagonal. Yeah, so rook h2 is my move. Let's see if we can get this. G5 directly, king h5 is there, and then if I move my rook, he can just escape, and this rook is still there. Yeah, I think this should do the trick, right? Now, is rook e3 the only move, or if we can somehow do something else here? I don't see anything happening, right? We have to play rook e3. What is it then? What is it? Let's see. Oh yeah! Why would I do that? I mean, I can defend the rook. Wow. I was this close to solving that puzzle. This is such a weird feeling. Anyhow, let's move on to our next puzzle. Our king is in check, right? We're playing with black pieces. Again, we are in the end game. You know what? This would have been a checkmate if it were black to move. I would just capture an f2, right? But anyhow, I'm thinking about king g6 here. King g6. I attack the rook on h7, and I'm also threatening rook f2. Check. Mate. Yeah. So after king g6, you can go back to h2, right? Yeah, that is possible. But then I can play g4 check, king f4, rook comes to d4 check, but then he has got king e5, right? It is not a mate. Okay, so king g6, rook h2, knight f2. If he comes to, yeah, okay, that is interesting because king g6, rook h2, knight f2. If rook f2, pawn push, that's a check. Yeah, but then he can play king e3, right? King e3 is also possible. So after king g6, rook h2, knight f2 is not such a great move. So rook f2, rook f2. Okay. King g6, right? Rook h2. If I push king f4, there has to be a fork somewhere here. Let's go for king g6 first of all. And then we'll see how to go about this further down the line. Rook d3. Oh, hi, Aubrey. I'm not sure what exactly you mean by that, if that's a website. Anyhow, rook d3 check. Yeah, but then he has got a few options. I mean, he can go to a g2 first of all, or e2 also. Let's see, knight f2. This looks very interesting. Rook f2, g4 check, and now he needs to defend. He can also go to g2. Yeah, that is equally possible. Hmm. And if I push for g4 check, he cannot go to g2 because he'll lose the f2 pawn. So maybe then he'll go to, yeah, he can go to f4 there, right? But then he loses the pawn. I think I'll go for this move. Yeah. Now I can capture on d4 with check, but then comes king e5. He can go for another check, and after that he can go to, if he goes to d5, that is bad because of rook e5 and I win the knight. So this check is followed by rook king coming to e5, rook e4, check, king comes to d7, right? Hmm. Okay. I mean, so if I play king f6, then he has got rook h6, and there is no mate for rook d4. Okay, let's see. I can also capture on f2, rook f2, knight f2, king e4. But then, yeah, this pawn is definitely an asset for my opponent's king. So let's just capture here, maybe. What is this? What am I missing here? What's the point of this? Oh yeah, rook e4 checkmate. Yeah, that is close but no cigar. Anyhow, let's jump right into our next puzzle. Yeah, so knight g4, knight g5 looks very interesting because I hit the rook. Also, I threatened to capture on e6, hitting the queen and the rook. So knight g5 is, yeah, knight g5 is what I'm thinking about. However, after knight g5, he has got rook g4 there. Check. And then maybe if king h3, queen also joins the party with queen f3, and that's not good for white king. So knight g5 is not that good, I would say. Okay, I can also capture on h6, check, king h6, rook h1 check. The only move is king g7, knight g5. I hit the rook. Let's say if I get another move, rook h7, and then he can go to, let's say, yeah, I think capturing on h6, check, king h6, rook comes to h1, king g7, knight g5. But then knight g5 is met with queen f4. Yeah, that's something I need to keep in mind. So that does not work. What else? What else can we go for? Hmm. There's definitely some pressure on g4. Yeah. Um, what else can we go for? Let's see. Okay. Hmm. Okay. Let's see. If I push g5, he has got knight f5. My king is hit. That's just basically giving away him these two squares after g5, right? Hmm. I mean, queen h6 looks very enticing, but I just don't see the follow-up. Queen h6, king h6, rook h1, check, king g7, knight g5, queen f4, and when it's my knight then, right? Yeah. Knight g5 is met with rook g4, check. King h2, maybe. But then he has got another move. He can move his king or queen. Okay. Uh, I mean, knight g5 is also another good looking move, but I'm afraid of rook g4 after knight g5. Then I have to play uh, king h2, and then he's got rook h4 as well. Yeah. Okay. This is interesting. Queen h6, pawn h, king h6, rook h1, check. King goes g7. Rook h7, let's say. King h7, knight g5, check. King g8 is also possible. Yeah, there are tons of different moves. After rook h7 and knight g5, that does not work in that position. Ah, come on, help me. How do I solve this one? This should be pretty easy. I mean, there should be some sort of a fork. g5, knight f5, check. King g2 maybe. Also knight h2 is there. Knight h2. Defends the pawn, right? Oh yeah, that does work. Knight h2. And how does he defend f3? The rook is trapped, right? Yeah, knight h4, knight h2 should do the trick. Awesome. Okay, it was pretty cool puzzle. What can we do here? We're playing with black pieces. Knight c5, bishop c5, queen c5, and then he just castles, right? My opponent is not castled, right? And that is what we need to utilize on, right? Queen a5, he's got b4 there. Oh wow, after knight c5, rook d8, queen d8, and then bishop c5 is also possible. Hmm. Okay. Uh, this diagonal is extremely weak, right? So queen a5, b4, queen a3, these castles away. Okay. Knight c5, rook d8, check, queen d8, bishop c5, queen a5, b4. Hmm. Let's see. Knight c5, rook d8, queen d8, bishop c5, queen a5, b4. Uh, then what? Queen a3, yeah, I get a pawn, but I'm not. Then he can just castle, right? And I don't think so. That would be the solution to this puzzle. Hmm. Hmm. Okay. And what about queen a5 directly? But then he's got b4 there. Yeah. Queen a5, b4, queen a3, knight captures, bishop captures. I'm not sure if that would amount to anything. Hmm. Okay. So knight c5 or queen c5, queen a5 is what I'm thinking about. One of these two candidate moves is what I'm thinking about. Hmm. Knight c5, bishop c5, knight c5, rook d8, queen d8, bishop c5, b6, and then queen. The bishop goes back to e3 maybe. I'm not sure. b6, the knight can just move away anywhere he wants to, and then we don't get anything. Hmm. I'll go for knight c5 here. Yeah. So this much I had seen. Um, and then I have queen g5 available. I'm hitting the pawn and the bishop there, right? If he goes there, I can capture on g2. Rook comes to what? Maybe f1. And then I'm not sure. I mean, so these are the two options now. Queen g5 or queen a5. Queen a5, he can play bishop b4, right? That does not really achieve anything. So yeah, queen g5 looks good. Queen g5, bishop moves, let's say, I don't know, he goes to e3 or b4, I then capture on g2. At least he will not be able to castle, right? That should be the idea of this puzzle. Awesome. Okay, it's been. I mean, it was a pretty easy puzzle after I figured out that I have to keep my opponent in without casting. So yeah. Okay, so we're playing with white pieces. Let's jump into it. The rook on d2 is weak. The king is extremely weak, right? So rook e5 check is very interesting because then he has got only one logical move, which is king goes to f8, right? Also, the other move is queen c3. I hit the rook, I hit the pawn on e5, and then I can also win the rook on a8 if I get to the e5 pawn, right? So rook queen c3. He has to save the he has to save his rook, right, on d2, and he can't save the pawn on e5 at the same time. So queen c3 is what I'm hoping for. Should be the right move. Queen c3, and let's say he goes to, how can white respond to that? I mean, black respond to after queen c3. I don't see any way, right? So yeah, queen c3 should be the move. Yep. Now we can capture the rook on h8. Awesome. Okay, so we're playing with black pieces. Hmm. Okay. I just need to make sure that I don't put my king on a square where it can be fogged by this knight. Right, this knight can come to f6, right, or e7. So let's say what all options do I have? I have got four options, right? Four logical options. King g6, let's say, but then he can just capture on f5 with his queen. I'm sorry, or his pawn. That's out. So similarly, king f8 is also not okay. Yeah, it's good, maybe. So now I have got three options. Or maybe, yeah, in fact, I can go to g6. I did not see that my rook is on e5. If queen f5, then rook f5 is there. Okay. But then after king g6, he can play h4, right? So that eliminates, in fact, even if I go to g8, h4 is coming into play. So that eliminates two options, king g6 and king g8. Now I've got king h8 or king f8. Let's say if I go to h8, which looks good in terms of I'm putting my king on the edge of the or in the corner of the board, so that should be safe, right? So king h8, and then what do I get? King h8. Let's say there are no checks available. And what about f8? So it's either king f8 or king h8. I'm just trying to figure out what's the difference between the two. King f8, let's say. But then he can play h4, right? Even if I play king h8, h4 is still coming in. If I move my bishop with check, that's a different thing. I think I'll go for king h8 here because, but I just don't see the difference between king f8 or h8. But then if given an option, I would definitely put it on h8 because it's safer that way. But then again, it depends on the situation as well. King f8. How can white respond to that? King f8. King f8 and then what? King f8. There are knight checks available, right? king h8. Oh yeah, so king h8 is bad because king h8 is met with knight coming to f6, but then it's taken care of, right? Let's go for king h8. Is it f8? What is it? What do I do next? Oh yeah, wow. This is so weird. I did not recognize that I was also attacking my. Oh my goodness. Time to call it a day, man. It's going to be my last puzzle for the stream. I think these puzzles are now annoying me, and I really can't focus. So let's make this puzzle the last puzzle for today's stream, and let's see then. So we're playing with black pieces here. Let's hope to end our stream on a high and probably win this one. Okay, so he captured a knight, right? Okay. Now there are two ways to capture the knight on e5, pawn e5 or bishop e5. In either cases, he'll play bishop, his knight coming to d5, attacking my queen and my bishop, right? So that way, bishop e5 looks better because of knight d5. Then only my queen is hit, right? Yeah, and then queen g3 is also some point of time an option. Oh wow, knight f6 check, bishop f6, and then if I capture on e5, I hit the queen and the bishop. That is better. And if knight f6, pawn f6, then I just capture the knight. Yeah, so that should be the move. Awesome. Okay, it has been pretty eventful. Maybe I'll call it a day. We have solved quite a few puzzles for today's stream, and I know we're reached 2450, which was the target of the stream. Anyhow, let's call it a day. I hope you enjoyed the stream, and in case if you did, then do give my channel a shot on Twitch and on YouTube. I stream on every weekend, that's Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. I stream chess videos. So, yeah, welcome to my channel if you're new here, and see you in my next stream. Till then, take care, tada, and goodbye.
Don't you pack your things? Can you hear our songs? Is our body there?